Hi, I'm Dr. Mike Totola, and I'd like to welcome you to Passion for Perfection, a German Obsession, sponsored by VHF, whose dental and laboratory mills are German designed, engineered, and built. Apple CEO Tim Cook enlisted a German company to design and build all the furnishings for Apple's world headquarters remodeling project in Cupertino. When asked why he chose a German company, Cook simply said, "There is nothing in the world like German craftsmanship." And now it's time for a segment we like to call Germansplaining. Today's German obsession, cleanliness. Germans have words about cleanliness that don't even have a direct translation in English. For example, Putzfimmel, which describes an obsession with cleaning. Someone who has a Putzfimmel is likely to keep their house clean and spotless at all times. Any trace of dirt is immediately removed, dishes are never left in the sink, and clothes are folded right away. The closest thing in English might be a clean freak, but that carries a somewhat negative connotation. In 1492, in the city of Stuttgart, a law was passed to keep its streets clean. Since this was 400 years before indoor plumbing, this was no mean feat. So the concept of Kirwochen, or Sweep Week, was born, and it's still an important part of life today for residents in the South. Many apartments and multifamily houses contain communal areas which need to be cleaned. Tasks like lawn mowing, taking out the trash, cleaning entryways, stairs, clearing leaves and snow are left to the residents to complete. Each tenant takes their turn doing these tasks for a week on a rotating basis. And you'll know it's your week when the sign saying Kirwochen is literally stuck on your front door. Now it's time for another installment of Phenomenal Now Conversations. See what I did there? Where we talk to the leaders in digital dentistry. We are lucky to have today's guest with us today, Dr. David Guichet. He's a diplomat of the American Board of Prosthodontics and a graduate of the Maxillofacial Prosthetic and Implant Dentistry Residency at the UCLA School of Dentistry. He's also a fellow in the American College of Prosthodontists and a member of the Academy of Osseointegration. David, thank you so much for spending a few minutes with us today. It's nice to catch up with you. It's been a while.
Hi, Mike. Yeah, it is great to catch up. It's been a long time since I've got a chance to see you.
It's nice because you're in Southern California, I'm in Southern California. I used to refer patients to you. You actually had a dental assistant came and worked for me at one point. In a rare lapse of judgment, the American College of Prosthodontists once had me speak at their annual meeting. So we've crossed a bunch of times. So it's nice to get a chance today to catch up. And I want to ask you about, how'd you find out about VHF originally, and what drew you to the company?
Mike, first let me say, I remember going to lunch with you when you were in Orange County, and right on the table in front of us was a journal, and you had an article on the cover. I couldn't believe it. I was stunned. So it's great to catch up. Regarding VHF, about 2014, I was investigating purchasing a laboratory mill. And VHF was in the running. We were very impressed, and a number of different trusted vendors were coming to me saying this is the way to go. I actually didn't at the time, but to see Nicholas Rhodes a couple of years ago, we got the opportunity to learn what they were up to and that they had introduced a new mill. And Nicholas asked me to learn about it. And frankly, back then, I had my eye on that Z4 mill, and we now have acquired it.
Were you looking for a chairside solution, or did you just happen to see the opportunity? You know, as a prosthodontist, I always wonder how many same-day restorations you might do, or if that's more kind of something that the general dentists are focusing on.
So what we did was we had a conventional laboratory in-house. So we had these trained technicians, this amazing technical capability. So we really didn't have the need for a chairside or a same-day solution. But when I did purchase my mill, I made sure it had the capability to mill lithium disilicate in a wet format. So we have a wet-dry mill. However, as soon as I started unpacking it, getting that solution going, we found that 3 out of 5 would be successful and 2 would break, only to learn that my wet-dry mill was not certified for Emax with the industry-leading solutions like an Ivoclar Emax. So our lithium disilicate solution did not work. Later, meeting Nicholas Rhodes and VHF and learning about the Z4, I found out that their mill is specifically designed with cooling and jets and milling strategies that are specific to each varying material. Like you could have Strawman Nice, you could have lithium disilicate from Vita, or from lithium monosilicate, or you could have from Vita, or you could have Ivoclar's Emax, and they would have a specific workflow for each one. So we noticed that, okay, someone's doing it right, and our solution that we have in-house is not. So I thought to myself, why not get a same-day solution? It's available, and it would serve as a backup mill for us. I would really like to explore. This is the last portion. Most people start with a same-day solution, but I'm moving into it as my last step. So I'm really excited.
I'm sure you like the fact that it's an open system, and because I know you like to pick whatever scanner you're going to use. I know you like the 3-shape Trio scanner, as do I, and you have the opportunity to use that. And the software, you can really use whatever you want with your Z4 mill. Are there any workflows that you're discovering now that you hadn't considered before you got your Z4 mill?
We like the open system. The Trios Design Studio is embedded, the software is embedded inside of your Trios software. So as you're completing your scan, you simply identify that you're going to use an inlay strategy, and then the software will virtually, once you identify the margin, it will place a tooth, adapt it, and then nearly complete. It's 95% complete. So in 3 or 4, maybe 5 minutes, you have a completed inlay in front of you. And so the interesting thing is, we wanted to try same-day solutions previously, and when we went to export that, we had to send it through the internet to our laboratory, and then through the laboratory to our mill, and that was oftentimes a 50-minute to 105-minute workflow. When we put it in the VHF, you would not believe it, 10-minute workflow. Plus, the strategies are designed so there's no risk of chipping. It's protected, so any thin area is protected with a little additional thickness called an offset to make sure that whatever you decide to do works out as intended. It's quite surprising. You asked me about new workflows that we hadn't anticipated, and one of those is in-office titanium abutment milling for implants. You know, together with partners like Medentica or DES, VHF has partnered and developed workflows and an abutment holder that's FDA approved. So we're excited about the opportunity for same-day milling, but we're even equally excited about the possibility that we have the workflows for laboratory CAD/CAM custom abutments. So this possibility is very exciting. Also, difficult temporary or a long-term temporary could be milled with PMMA. So a variety of different materials are authorized and suited for the inside of the to be used in this mill. So this is very exciting possibilities for us, and we're really looking forward to exercising those.
Yeah, it's a very versatile machine. I mean, it'll basically mill anything. It's very precise. It's intuitive to use. I know that once you received it, obviously, anytime you get a new piece of technology, you always have to deal with not only the integration into your practice, but your staff has to somehow deal with the rollout of this new technology, and you have to be able to, find. In your case, it could be dental assistants. It could also be laboratory technicians. Talk to me about your staff and how they dealt with any time a piece of new technology like the Z4 comes in.
Well, adapting new technology can be difficult for some. We've continuously innovated. It's said by certain authorities that when you're not growing as a dentist, your practice is not growing. You're not learning, you're not growing. And if you're level with your learning and innovation, so will your practice be level. So what we witnessed when we introduced this mill into the practice was a degree of excitement that I hadn't anticipated. My new associate actually commented on it. He said, my gosh, I've seen other offices when they roll in new equipment or new technology, there's a little resistance, but yours jumped in. And it's a different time and place and era now. Some of my dental assistants have already been in offices with CEREC solutions, so they're excited about the possibility of bringing in same-day solutions. So, I think that each office has to manage change on their own, but one of the things that you should strive to do is stay out in front, not too far out in front. Use proven solutions. VHF introduced this mill 2 years ago, and everyone else is trying to catch up. So I'm really excited about our opportunity to take advantage of it now. I'd like to tell you, Mike, about our rollout when we first opened the crate.
Yeah, I'd love to hear about it.
Okay, so this is the thing. When we received the crate, it's a little bit, daunting. You say, okay, inside there is this beautiful piece of equipment. We open it up. VHF sent out a representative in the local area. We just got lucky. We could self-install option, or we could have them install. And we said, well, we'll have them install because they'll work through all the bugs. This thing is a self-contained unit. No need for air lines, no need for vacuum systems. It's got a water system, self-contained. It's got a compressor, self-contained. All we needed was a network cable and an extension plug into the power unit. So we could position it anywhere in the office we wanted to. And we cleared an areaway like studio photography. We wanted the lab completely cleaned. We had an option for placing it in the clinical area. We had an option for a couple areas in the laboratory. And we said we want it with the best patient traffic to reflect the best possibly on our practice. It looks so beautiful. It's like a little robot that's absolutely beautifully designed. The engineering in it is apparent just from first glance. In addition, it's truly plug and play. It was installed out of the crate at 8:39. By 11, all the software was running. By 10:12, the licenses were opened up and perfectly functioning. We did our first inlay and mill, was milling at about 12:30. Plug and play. We took our training 12:30 to 1:30, done. It was amazing. We were shocked. And as I mentioned, our first inlay was a real patient, fit incredibly and milled in 10 minutes. My laboratory said that workflow would have been in 65 minutes previously. All right. So
that's amazing to hear, and I'm glad it's neat to hear that unboxing story that you have. And you haven't seen the show yet because we're in the middle of the interview, but I actually open it with a quote from Tim Cook, Apple CEO, where he says there's nothing like German craftsmanship. So I'm glad you're able to look at that mill and see it as a work of art unto itself, because I always say if Apple made a mill, this would be it. And it's one of those great things where the artistic and the function come together, much like the articulator your dad came up with, Niles Guichet, back in the day. That articulator was a gorgeous kind of piece of art unto itself. And I feel like those are the really kind of lasting products that inspire people to go farther, whether it's in their practice, in the case of you, or as a prosthodontist. But those are really the pieces of technology, I think, that change lives. So thank you for sharing with us today and taking a couple minutes. And if you have anything else before we let you go.
Yeah, Michael, you're not kidding. You hit the nail on the head. Everyone's excited. It has a profound impact on the excitement in the practice. Everyone's really looking forward to taking full advantage of these capabilities. So thank you for the opportunity, Michael. It's always a pleasure to catch up and to tell everyone about this amazing new product.
Thank you, David. Appreciate your time. Passion for Perfection is brought to you by VHF, designed, engineered, and built in Germany. VHF takes their motto seriously, creating perfection. Their obsession with creating the perfect machines, tools, and software is to enable their customers to pursue creating clinical perfection for their patients. Their open system allows you or your dealer to pair your VHF mill with the best scanner and design or CAD software for seamless workflows in your practice. And by manufacturing the mills and the tools themselves, and always including their CAM software at no additional charge, VHF allows clinicians to own a state-of-the-art complete CAD/CAM system at about half the cost of other popular CAD/CAM solutions in the market. Go to VHF.com to see how you can begin creating perfection. Well, that'll wrap it up for this episode. So on behalf of myself, Practice Passion, and VHF, how about we shut the front door and start milling?